Okay, here we are. I think we're all set. Or as Shantae would put it, ready to go. How's everyone doing tonight? And or today? Depending on your time zone, of course. This is Shantae for the Nintendo Game Boy Color. The first of its kind. The one that started it all. The one that only got 20,000 copies produced in its first run. The one that cost $300 used on eBay. That Shantae. Oops. And, I'm gonna go and erase this file, because this is not New Game Plus. I'm gonna go and get started in just a second here. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Consider yourself noted, Astros. I just completely butchered that sentence. Consider yourself noticed, Atros. There we go. So this is Shantae. Of course you play as Shantae. In order to skip text in this game, you have to hold down B, and then as soon as the dialogue is finished, you have to release B and press it down again. It's a little bit awkward, and you can lose frames on it. Also, these cannonballs are RNG, so you have to react to them. Optimally, we'll only take a maximum of 1 hit through this entire area. And there's our 1 hit. There are 5 scripted cannonballs, which break the bridges, and those do not have hitboxes, so you can just walk through them like you saw me do just now. Here, we are introduced to our main nemesis in the game, by the name of Risky Boots, the Lady Pirate, and her Tinkerbat army. Shing. I will, Vex. Fear thee not. So for the first 5 minutes of this run, the game is completely linear. You just go to the right and defeat a boss at the end. Kind of Contra style, actually. But, as the game goes on, it becomes a Metroidvania, which obviously is not nearly as, simple to figure out. My casual playthrough actually took 9 or 10 visits to the walkthrough, and even then it took 10 hours. So it's a little ridiculous. Anyway, what we're doing right now is trying to make a cycle midway through this level. If we get it, we'll be able to make a super early cycle, which used to be TAS only. Let's give this a shot. Perfect. Let's go. Alright. That's the big gauntlet in this level. So here we see the Tinkerbats stealing our adopted uncle Mimic's invention called the steam engine. Since this is a pre-technology world, no one knows what a steam engine is, but all we know is that it's important, and we need to get it back. So naturally we're going to pursue the Tinkerbats. Getting out of this cutscene at 3:09 is a very, very good pace. We're gonna crouch in midair because that preserves our run speed for whatever reason, and we're home free. Almost. We have one more set of Tinkerbats to jump over. A little bit more platforming. And we're good. So welcome to our first boss. So optimally, on this first cycle, I'll get 7 hits in. It only saves like 0.2 seconds, but you have to mash perfectly. That was not quite perfect. But 6 is okay. That's to be expected. You need to get in 10 hits on this thing. And on the phase 2, we have to hit these explosive barrels 4 times per window. And if the barrel appears in the same window multiple times in a row like this, that's good RNG because it saves a few frames for some reason. Good. Perfect. Alright, we got a run going, guys. Let's go. Nice sub 5. So now we have a minute worth of plot exposure. If you want to go grab a snack or something, use the restroom, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So since Shantae is a half-genie, and the mayor doesn't know it, he's hired Shantae as a guardian genie for the town. And Shantae is under the impression that if she were a real genie, she could have shown Risky a thing or two. Unfortunately, Mimic believes that this will take a little bit more effort than that. Long story short, Risky Boots wants to use the power of the steam engine to take over the world. And to aid her on that quest, she is seeking the 4 magical stones stored within various labyrinths across the land. And now we're off. This right here is where the game takes a little bit of a turn and becomes completely Metroidvania in nature. Right away we're going to have to deal with RNG in the Scarecrow fields. Alright, that was pretty good RNG. Too early. Good. That was close. Dang. Alright, pretty good RNG there. 3 hearts is perfectly acceptable. I had to stay quiet there because there are some audio cues I can use to navigate that area a little bit faster and more efficiently. This spider forest is completely free. Just hold right, jump at the correct times. That was not the correct time. Slopes will cause you to go into a helpless state. And it's barely not any faster than running. Except under circumstances such as this right up here, where you have an extended slide, in which case it's very slightly faster. So as I traverse this waterfall area, I'll go ahead and explain a couple of the recent reroutings in this game. For a long time it was speculated that it was not possible, oh darn, to incorporate what's called storm puff skips and squid underflow into the run, the 80% run, because it would take too long and it depended too heavily on RNG to get enough coins, or in this case, gems, to actually pay for it all. However, I recently rerouted Lab 3 so that we do actually have the opportunity to collect enough gems to make it work. So with all of that in mind, we're gonna go and head on to our first town, which is Watertown. In here we're going to go visit Bolo, who tells us that Risky Boots just came through Watertown, and all she needed was directions to the dribble fountain. If you so choose, you can read along with the dialogue and kind of get the gist of the story. Since in this game it's impossible to straight up skip dialogue. And we're off. Now I am going to pop into the save room for just 1 second. This won't actually save the game, but it will put my current session's warp marker into Watertown instead of Scuttletown, which will save time later on when we death warp. So now we have to do some backtracking, and we're about to come across this game's, personally, in my opinion, this game's most annoying feature, which is the day-night cycle. In about 5 seconds, I would wager. There we go. And so what this does, the most immediate effect, of course, is the graphical and musical alterations. But enemies also become twice as strong during at night, which fortunately does not affect the run. However, what does affect the run is the fact that we do have to make it to a certain town before it turns daytime later on in the run. Also, that right there was a frame-perfect jump. Too far to the left and you get hit by the flying night bugs, and too far to the right and you actually don't make that platform. So Bolo's gonna let us into the dribble fountain. Hey, look at the flick of the wrist, whoop! So you notice how that eyeball turned upright right there? That's going to become a mechanic in Lab 3 once I hit it. I'll point it out again if I remember, but no promises. And unfortunately, we're just a little bit too slow to get to Risky Boots. And so we just stand off to the side as she jumps down a hole. We do absolutely nothing about it. And that forces us to traverse the labyrinth. So what I did right there was die on purpose to get back my health and lose a life in preparation for the death warps we have to do later on. Right there's a little bit of lag reduction. Just jumping a little bit higher than necessary. Here's our first labyrinth enemy. This is a wet gal. Yes, it's really called wet gal. And we're actually going to be picking up the 5-gem drop from this wet gal. Just like that. We'll need 85 gems coming out of this nice RNG. Thanks, Wetman. We need 85 gems coming out of this labyrinth. Right there we collect our first and only warp squid in this run. The extra 25 gems on top of the 60 we normally get is a rerouting, as is the single warp squid we pick up instead of all 4 that we need to get in this labyrinth. Nice. Alright, 2-1-1, because fish... There we go. Fish, Nautilus, Nautilus. 2-1-1 is my shorthand for that. Just makes it easier to memorize and to write down in chat. So yeah, 1 is Nautilus, 2 is fish, and 3 is squid. Right here is a very tight jump. Perfect. And we're going to collect 5 more gems from this sconce. Walk through these guys, because it's slightly faster than killing them. And we get heals up here anyway. Walk through these guys. And 1 more puzzle plus a 5-gem drop. 1, 2, 3, 3. That was a mistake. There we go. And then we drop down. And we're going to actually be doing some interesting damage boosting strats through here. We are going to need to be as low as a half heart after we collect the key in this next room. So right now we're down to 2 hearts, down to 1.5. And this puzzle is a bit broken, so we have to go repair it. Darn, sometimes you can make that jump, but usually you can't. Another instance of RNG here. Very good RNG. That guy can give you a lot of troubles. But now that we have a key, we're gonna go ahead and mosey on over here. And someone write this down in chat, please. 332. Or if you so choose, Squid 3, Squid 3, Sabaping. Because that is the combo we need. Also going to be taking this a little bit safe, just so we don't accidentally die. Perfect. Alright, this was a little sloppy, but that's fine. Wow, very sloppy. Good stuff. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and die on this enemy right here. And get a blind jump. Happy to hop over this gap, and now we're going to get our first transformation dance. This is the whole gimmick to this game. You obtain these transformation dances from the genies that have been imprisoned within these labyrinths. This is the only one that we're actually going to have to watch the cutscene for. This is one of 2 times that we even have to visit this dance menu at all. So now that we have Monkey, we can do a lot of very nimble and gymnastic activities. Such as failing to jump into that gap. Nice. So once again, normally we'd be going out of our way to collect these warp squids, however, recently the run has adapted a bit to forego them. This split used to be over a minute longer than it is now. Whoopsie. That's never given me trouble before. Nice. Alright, we have to hope for good RNG right here. Please cooperate, guys. Come on over. Yeah, this is not good. I'll take care of this guy first. And then I'll drop down. This is why I nicknamed these guys Meta Knight. Because they can just block as much as they want. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a safety heart. Just cause. And here's our first stone, the dribble stone. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to Risky Boots, this gets her somehow every time, but there's always a boss guarding the stone. Wasn't too bad though. That was a perfect fight. Honestly, I would agree with you, QQ. We have to jump right there to collect the stone. And now we have to talk to Bolo all the way into the night. If I'm currently on the correct day cycle. Alright, this'll work. Once again, this is a little bit of deviation in the route. Normally I would transform right here into Monkey Shantae, just to make the trek a little bit easier. However, you can't enter towns as Monkey Shantae or any other transformation of Shantae. So we're forced to remain in human form as we backtrack in order to save 7 seconds. Nice emote combo there, Zero. Whee! Jump. I've lost runs to that jump right there. By the way, those spiders do not have hitboxes, and they only shoot if you stay on screen. You see that bullet behind me? And yeah, it's weird for me not to split, like, at all, Lori. Play it safe right there. Now coming up, it's very important that I preserve as much health as possible. Darn. Nothing I can do about that one. Otherwise, very good RNG for that area. Same, Zero. Alright, so right here we're gonna enter the item shop in Scuttletown. This is the only place where they sell Storm Puffs for 25 coins. Or gems. And so with that, we are on our way to the Naga Wasteland. Now, in the marathon I ran last night, I actually died here a few times, and had the game over. So let's not do that. I was going to practice this before the marathon, but I decided to wing it and just kind of run through it in my head. I'm gonna start taking damage now on purpose. Alright, good. And we have exactly enough health to do this next trick, which is an invulnerability glitch. I get one shot at this. Nice. Alright, so you notice I'm at a half heart of health. I did not flash like I usually do after I take damage. And now I'm just walking through everything. This is basically a state in which I am constantly being damaged, so I cannot be undamaged. AKA me IRL. But yeah, that's the Ladies' Desert. And now we're going to equip Storm Puffs and enter town. Here's where the warp squids come in. Usually you would have to have 4 warp squids in order to set up a warp station. However, if you talk to... Okay, I did not do that right. I'm actually gonna have to exit and take 5 hearts of damage now. But yeah, the gist of this trick is if you take... let me explain this again. If you take damage and you actually die during conversations in a cutscene, it'll cause some interesting things to happen. Here we go. So this is the proper way to do this. Let's hope we got it. Nice. Okay, so now we just exit, return, and now we have 57 squids in our roster. This is a little bit scary, by the way, because we have no backup lives. So I'm going to do my best to actually preserve this health as much as I can. Now we need to pick up 3 exit candies. Yeah, what I meant by one shot at that trick, by the way, is you only get one shot to execute it. If you're too close to the cactus, it won't work, and you'll just end up getting hit. And so if you lose too much health, you can't do the glitch again. And you have to go back and do a backup glitch that's slightly safer. And Sky launches Wrench into celestial orbit. And off we go. We're gonna go ahead and head over to the men's desert in search of the Golem Stone. And I will have to take some damage through here. There's some damage that's just completely unavoidable, unfortunately. Okay, that was completely avoidable, but I messed up a little bit. For some reason, the hair is a major hitbox. There we go. And I'm actually going to do this, just so I have plenty of health. It's slightly slower, but it's worth it. Because marathon safety. Nice clutch heart right there. I think that's like a 5% drop. So that's very good. Yeah, we just got out of the ladies' desert, which is quite a bit more rocky as far as terrain goes, and it's pretty brutal as well. So now we're heading over to the men's desert, which is actually a lot safer. And you can do it damageless. Fortunately, at this point, it's basically impossible to die. So we're good. The hard part's over. This is not the best day-night cycle, but I'm not too far behind either, so this is perfectly workable. And now we get to learn why Wrench is called Wrench. You probably thought it was because he was a crossbreed of a wren and a finch, didn't you? No siree. Unless he got retconned, this is his origin. So now we're gonna pick up some safety health. And some free money. So welcome to Lab 2. This labyrinth introduces a mechanic called red and blue. At least I call it red and blue. It's actually based on magnetism. So you'll see certain puzzles get solved in different ways based on what color you are. I'm gonna pick up that extra life so we can do a little bit of glitchy shenanigans a little bit later. So depending on your color, your magnetism, various enemies and NPCs in this labyrinth will behave differently. Same, Zero. Free money is the best. I'm gonna get hit one more time. I'm taking damage here on purpose so that I have 1/2 heart going into this genie room. And I'm going to show off a new glitch. Storm Puff skips, which allow you to skip over the genie cutscenes and save about 45 seconds. So keep your eyes peeled, this is going to happen pretty fast. I'm going to use the Storm Puff, talk to the genie. This is why I got confused, by the way, by not activating the dialogue. There we go. And now we skip over to an exit candy, use it as soon as we spawn in, and we have the dance now. We don't even have to watch the cutscene. We're gonna start taking damage here as well, because we do need to lose this last life of ours once we exit the labyrinth in order to pull off some death warps. This guy can be a bit finicky to deal with. His movement is random, so... Dang, this is not very clean at all. Oh well. If you do it just right, you can take care of him, like, immediately. This allows us to collect our last key that's out of our way, besides this one right over here, which we could not previously access because we didn't have Elephant. A little bit of movement tech here. If you slide off an edge as Elephant, you actually gain momentum right away. We're just gonna go ahead and pick up this key. Head on out, the same way we came in. And you might notice that we do not have magnetism right now. When you do not have magnetism in a dungeon, or a labyrinth, as they're called, the game will automatically always give you the optimal outcome. So it's very helpful for navigating. Wrong button. Nice. This elevator right up here can despawn if you do it right. It did not, unfortunately. I've gotten it maybe 3 times in a run. But here we go. This is the Golem Stone. And we have to defeat the Golem King in order to obtain it. So I'm gonna need to focus very hard here. This fight can go wrong very quickly. This is easily the hardest boss in any video game ever. Just kidding. Alright, now we have a cycle to beat. So we have to hope that we can make it over to the next town before the next day cycle happens. So we're gonna go ahead and go over here, kill ourselves on a cactus, and death warp over to Watertown. Indeed, in true Nintendo fashion. So from this point out, we are on some major time pressure here. As long as I can get past most of the next screen before it hits nighttime, I should be good. Perfect. Okay, so we're in the green here for hitting the early night cycle. It's very important because if you arrive at this next town during the day, it will not appear, and you actually have to wait for the night cycle. And obviously that's slow because each day cycle and each night cycle takes 2 minutes 8 seconds apiece of in-game time. Yo, Ash. Welcome to here. Thank you for the good luck. Alright, so the former record holder of this category, of this game, Black SR, has a strat that uses Monkey in this area, but it only saves maybe 1.5 seconds, and so it's not worth it. Especially in a marathon setting. And I don't ever go for it in runs either. It's just too much risk compared to the reward. Not bad. So all we have to do is navigate this area in about 1 minute 30 seconds. Which is easy peasy. Yes, 128 seconds. Precisely. It's basically 2 bytes of data that keep track of the timer, with a specific bit assigned to each second. Alright, so we're good here. And there we have it. There's the early night cycle. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a few things. Double mints are rare plants that... I can buy 2 packs of fireballs. Shoutouts to Atomic Fireballs, by the way. Best candy. 20XX. Now we're gonna talk to Roddy Tops, the zombie girl, who happens to know where the Simmer Stone is, which is our 3rd zone. So we're getting challenged to a race. And this race is not good. It costs you about 1 minute if you lose, and it's very easy to lose. So let's see if we can do this right. Up, down, up, up. Also, if you fail a single jump later on, it's RIP. So this is down, up, down, down, down. Up, down, up, down. Down, up, down. Up. Easy every time. You're right though, QQ. That race is not easy. Thank goodness for memorization. Now we're gonna backtrack a little bit, over to the Cackle Mound. Yeah, that race took me quite a few attempts myself. It wasn't too terribly bad, but it was a lot of effort. There we go, very good RNG right there on that blob family. That was close. Saved it though. So now Roddy's gonna open the skeleton key lock with her own bones. It's pretty gnarly. Let me go ahead and forget that I need to hold down B. Good job, me. And that's actually very clever, QQ. That's a good idea. So welcome to the labyrinth that loves to hate me, by the way. It's pretty cool. A lot of interesting tricks here. What's up, Amethyst? Thank you! So again, remember that statue from a little bit ago? The dribble fountain? Same deal here, we're gonna have to deal with some eyeballs. And if you mess up the strat here, it's very annoying to get back in. This should do it though. Nice. So we're gonna get that key, use an exit candy, and this sequence breaks the entire labyrinth. You're supposed to be trapped down here. However, fortunately, this just kind of circumvents a lot of puzzling and navigating. So at this point we can drop down and head to the left. Pick up a safety heart. Yo, thanks E-Bloody. A lot of cool skips in this room. Free one-up. Because you never know. Alright, so check this out. Alright, I was a little bit late right there, but it is possible to do a frame-perfect trick. Like that. Alright, getting 1 in a marathon setting is really good. And this also allows me to quick transform into Monkey during the cutscene here. Saving a bit of time. Right, and at this point we're gonna go ahead and do some damage boosting. I used to do a trick where I short hopped and long hopped across here, but since the new route requires me to do a bit of damaging, that's not necessary. Once again, we have a consistent strat for this eyeball. Although sometimes it doesn't work for whatever reason. Fortunately, this time it did. Once again, quick transforming into Monkey during that cutscene. I'm gonna take damage one more time. Alright, we transform back into normal Shantae and equip Pike Balls for this. Or actually Fireballs. We're just gonna hit her 4 times without even trying. And welcome to the mini-boss. can get 4 free hits here. This is the only time this music is heard in the entire game, by the way. Oh yeah, exit candies are flawless. Completely infallible. Truly the pinnacle of video game design. Alright, and with that, we're gonna head on over here, take damage. And y'all ready for Storm Puff skips? I know I am. Let's do this. Perfect. So yeah, we're now able to transform into a spider. You're supposed to use the spider to traverse those webs, but we can just jump with Monkey. Right here is a very tight one-tile gap that you're not supposed to be able to go in the opposite direction. First try, almost. Third try is good. And alley-oop. Let's go and equip the exit candy. We're gonna use our last exit candy right here. That was almost too early, and that almost killed the run. But we're good. Woo! Okay, so the execution part of the run is over. Now we gotta hope for good RNG. Because this third boss
sucks. So much.
So go ahead and put your plus RNGs in chat, guys. I'm gonna need them. I lost 30 seconds in my current PB/WR. Hashtag humblebrag. But yeah, it could have been a sub 107. If not for bad luck on this guy right here. Also, Storm Puff is apparently a banned phrase for the go live messages on the Twitch app. I'm not sure why. Also, we gotta hope for not hard locking right here, because that's possible. Alright, we did not hard lock. And we got music glitch as well. And now we have a guaranteed quick kill. This is a perfect fight. And there we have it. Nice stuff.
And this voice. I don't know. Like Muppets, probably.
And there we have it. So, we have one more stone to collect. And this one is actually never explained as to why Risky actually wants to come after the Twinkle Stone, which is an infinite source of cold. Like, if you're working with the steam engine, why would you need cold? I don't know. Anyway, now we're going to warp over to Oasis Town using the dance that we learned. We're gonna head left. Walk through some enemies. And hopefully not die. Because dying is bad. Yeah, I only wish I had gotten that luck in my PB, because that was perfect. Well executed too, actually. Not purely luck. There's a jump right at the beginning that's kind of finicky, wherein you have to get just the right amount of distance between yourself and the wall before you jump up above him, and hit the button very quickly before he decides to transform into a ball. Also, that was a frame-perfect jump. And this was a perfect mud bog. Let's go. That was the last part that I was worried about. This is Spider Skip. It is free. And that was discovered during GDQ 2014, before this game was run there. However, I do have a bit of a reverse Spider Skip. It's a lot more dangerous, but it saves just as much time, if not more. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and talk to this totally normal, completely inconspicuous Guardian Genie, who has mind-reading magic. Nothing suspicious here. Not a problem at all. Right there she mentions that Shantae would look cute in a bob without her magical hair. In the original lore of this game, Shantae's hair is the source of her power. And so that's kind of a subtle dig. Here we go. Nice, dude. That is not easy. I've lost many PB attempts to that trick, too. Now we are Spoder. Only this game could make Spoders cute, by the way. Now we're headed up to Mount Pointy. Shh, steady. We don't know that yet. Ooh, bad RNG, but I avoided it. That was close. Bad RNG, but I didn't avoid it. Sloppy execution. But now we Gucci. How'd she get here? And now, hips too strong. And yeah, that bit of lore actually didn't even make it into this game. That ended up getting cut, but that dialogue did not. So that's pretty cool. Right here, on all of these roulettes, I'm going to stop it on the golem, because it's a guaranteed one-hit kill. And there's no chance that it will try to block or anything, like the wetmen do. The bat gals take 2 hits with monkey, or with elephant. Drat. These puzzles are a bit challenging at times. Not today, however. I am gonna need to pick up some health or death warp. In fact, I'll go ahead and kill this guy just to be safe. Nice clutch heart. No longer in danger of dying accidentally. Good stuff. Right here we're gonna do a little bit of a skip. Funny enough, a lot of the quote-unquote skips that I do using these warp deals are actually the way I completed the levels casually, because I couldn't figure them out otherwise. Well, in later games, actually, Innocent Lost. Or Innocence Lost, I guess. The animal transformations are purple. Alright, so far so good. Nice. Fortunately, those cannonballs are screen timers, so if you jump at just the right time and the place, then that can happen. I'm actually gonna go down here and do some damage boost strats. Just to get my health down a little bit lower. Just like this. As a matter of fact, it was probably a bad idea to break that, life pot. I just do that out of habit, since that's what I used to always do. Another skip right here. Pretty cool. Oh, drat. Okay, I have to be careful here now. And yeah, the elephant is rather purple. I'm actually gonna do this. That's the 5 gem. Okay, where are the health? There's the health. I forgot what the health was for a second. Anyway, now we're good. Just a little bit of safety strats to make sure I can get past these guys properly. Yeah, so all of the walls in this labyrinth are magical. Confirmed. What I'm going to do right here is take one more piece of health by walking into the golem before destroying it. That sets us up nicely for the Stormpuff strat. Coming up right here. Perfect. And we actually have to wait until we've stopped flashing in order to traverse these warp markers, because that's how video games work. And now we have the Harpy transformation dance, which allows us to fly. At this point in the run, mashing becomes very important, for reasons such as this right here. Clean flight. And another thing to note is that inputs can drop very easily while you're flying, in almost any circumstance, so flying is a little risky. Once again, gonna quick transform into monkey. I'm gonna jump as I exit this door, so that I don't get locked into a screen transition. And now we're gonna do an out-of-bounds trick. If you transform under this block, and run to the left, transform back into Spider, back into normal Shantae, each time running to the left. It will cause Shantae to go into the wall. Yeah, this is Game Boy Color, Commander Rainbow Ducky. So now that we're deep inside enough of the wall, we're gonna go ahead and take flight. This is a little bit scary because if you go too high or too low, you will run into Missing No. And if you touch Missing No, your game gets corrupted. It actually hardlocks your save file. So to clip back into bounds, we just use Monkey a couple of times. And now we're Cyborg Shantae. Just for one screen, though. Yeah, the creator tried to make a sequel for Game Boy Advance, but it never happened. They tried to make 2 sequels, actually. That never happened. Okay, so if you're familiar with Joust, then you're all set for this fight, basically. So that's all you need to do. Just joust a bit. And if you don't know the game Joust, play Joust, please. Joust or no childhood. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's very slightly problematic, but it's okay because we can pick up some spare life in the final level. That was a perfect one right there. No, he escaped. Alright. Good stuff. And we're hitting an hour right now, so that's not actually too bad. So it turns out that this genie was Risky Boots the whole time. Fun fact, I did not know this when I played it casually. I didn't put two and two together. So wait for the Erg-Merg. Here it is. Erg-Merg. Free! Again, warping. This is on 107 pace, by the way. If I can do the rest of the game properly, we'll be in there. And you're correct, Lori, this is a reproduction cart. Fortunately, it runs exactly the same as the original cart, except you can't access the Game Boy Advance features, which don't matter in the run whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, $300 versus $10. Easy choice right there. So here's Pirate Island. This is where we need to go to retrieve and destroy, if necessary, the steam engine. So off we go. Once again, this is a very linear level. Also, what are hitboxes? Lol. I probably should have picked up that heart, but that's okay, I can pick up this heart instead. But yeah, whatever price you pay for it, it's worth it, because this game is very top tier. There's a perk coming up where I'm actually going to ask for a lot of Bless RNGs. You could go ahead and get him started right now, actually, because sometimes this trick works, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it didn't work this time. So usually with only 2 cannon fires right there, you can take out all of those enemies. Unfortunately, we had to do 3, but that's still okay. And now is Bless RNG time. This area drops inputs a lot when you do it with Harpy, but it's way faster than using Spider like intended. Perfect, let's go. If only my PB had had that good luck. And looks like this setup worked. Perfect. Alright, good kill right there. And we're all set to go. This is the end game, guys. Let's hope for the best. Grab the safety health right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and swap over to fireballs right now. And now comes the big unveiling of the entire plan. Risky Boots, go ahead and just stands here. Tells all. Now we have to defeat her Tinker Tank. Also, they forgot to program not moving in this cutscene, so we're just gonna walk into Risky Boots and fall down a non-existent pit. And off we go. Shantae Spinball, perfect. So there are some very quick cycles you can make here if you do this right. But it's very, very challenging, especially the second one. If you miss either of the first two, you lose time. Got that one. Alright, when we destroy the stone too, that's good. Perfect. Let's go. Alright, it's working out. Couple more quick transforms here. Oops. That's a bit of a boo-boo. Head on down here, and... now we have to destroy the steam engine, unfortunately. So rest in peace, Mimic's life work. But it's for the greater good. And welcome to the final fight. And dealing with Risky Boots is a bit of a challenge, especially casually, because you don't know the strats. Fortunately, all you need to know is that if you duck, it's very easy to hit her. And it's very possible to do this fight damageless and without using fireballs. However, fireballs just make the whole thing a little bit safer. Excellent RNG so far. I actually got 5 hits out of that fireball, if that's never happened before. If you get too close to Risky Boots, she'll either jump away or attack. Usually she'll attack, and you don't want that because you can't attack her while she's attacking you. It's a bit biased, but understandable. Alright, we got another attack here. That's fine. She's very nearly dead, though. If you crouch, you actually get an extended hitbox on your hair. So that was the final fight. Now all we have is an escape sequence. We are almost finished with the run. Looks like we're hitting mid 108 right here. So that's excellent. The strat here is to cling to the right wall, and you're basically home free. I've gotten hit like once or twice before, ever. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of the run. Just gotta wait for another 15 seconds or so. I have actually lost my last half heart during this escape sequence and lost like 30 seconds, which is pretty funny. But looks like we're good. Time. 108.34, good stuff. Rip-roll record. That was actually a minute, less than a minute away from record right there. So I'm very satisfied. Alright, epilogue. Long story short, Shantae goes unconscious and enters the genie realm. In which presumably the 4 genies that she rescued from the labyrinths offer her the opportunity to become a full genie. Lori, we don't talk about that. Unfortunately, it means you won't be able... Shantae won't be able to live with her friends on Earth anymore if she becomes a full genie. And of course, that would mean the end of the series if she decided to become a full genie and leave this world, so naturally she decides to stay with her friends. But yeah, Sub 109 would have been an absolutely incredible time just like a month or two ago, so I'm very happy with this. Since I presume we have a little bit of time here during the epilogue, I'll go ahead and click through it. Shantae is going to wake up back on Mimic's dock, where we started the whole game. And she decides that since this entire fiasco happened, presumably because she didn't tell the mayor that she was not really a full genie, that she should probably clear the air and just admit to being a half genie instead. However, the mayor overhears our conversation and decides to keep us on, because she's done her job, and that's all that really matters. Oh, dude, Teddy, that's the worst. When I go unconscious and enter the genie realm. Alright, catch this one-liner, by the way. I don't care if you're a half genie or not, you'll always be our champion. But can I get you for half price? I can't believe Shantae is dead. And roll the credits. I mean, that is true, QQ. But still. I want to shoot for the Theory 105, honestly. However, that would, of course, require...